Hello class. So this is today's posting. I'm just going to go over a couple reviews, and then I'm going to be posting something up in Google Classroom for you to complete. It'll be like a little quiz or something like that. So first off, just really quick, the Pythagorean theorem. That was one of the things that we looked at in this section. So I have a squared plus b squared equals c squared. And make sure that you remember that the C is the hypotenuse. So when we're looking at this triangle, the legs are your A and your B, and then the hypotenuse, which is across from that, that's your C. So if we were looking at a triangle, let's say that this is 2 and this is 5. So if I wanted to solve for that hypotenuse x, I would just go 5 squared plus 2 squared equals x squared. And I can put that in my calculator. So if I have 5 squared plus 2 squared, 29 equals x squared. But make sure to square root both sides. So you know your x is going to be the square root of 29, which is approximately through 5.4. Alright, so that's how you would solve that. And then if you wanted to figure out a leg, so if I was given a triangle like that, alright, if I was given this and I knew that this was, let's say this is 3 and let's say that that's 9, and then I want to find that leg, then I would just have that leg, I'd have the variable on the left side, so it'd be x squared plus 3 squared equals 9 squared. And I would have to subtract that 3 squared from both sides. So I'm going to go 9 squared minus 3 squared, I get 72. So I know x squared equals 72, square root both sides, x equals, the square root of 72 is about 8.5. Approximately 8.5, like that. So that's how you'd figure out one of the legs, okay? So we did look at the Pythagorean theorem, so make sure you understand how to go about that. I am going to put a problem on there, and this is going to be extra credit. And it may look something like this. So I'd have a triangle like this. And I'm going to say that this is 4, this is x, and this is x plus 1. Okay? So I'm going to go through and solve one of these because you very well could see one of these on the ACT or those tests that you take. And you just want to apply the Pythagorean theorem. 4 squared plus x squared equals x plus 1 squared. So I'm going to set it up just like that. 4 squared plus x squared equals... Now I'm going to put this in parentheses, x plus 1 squared. Like that. Alright, now this is where you have to remember that FOIL. Alright, so you have to remember that this x plus 1 is written out like that. So that's where you do your first, outside, inside, last, and you multiply those. Okay, so then when I rewrite this, I get 4 squared plus x squared equals x squared plus x squared plus x again plus 1. So then when I'm going to rewrite this all out, 4 squared is 16 plus x squared equals, now I get x squared plus 2x plus 1. Like that. Okay? Now I still want to solve for my x. So first thing, I'm going to subtract my x squared from both sides. And that works out really well because those just cancel, right? So I get 16 equals 2x plus 1. Like that. And then I have to subtract 1 from both sides. So I get 15 equals 2x, and then divide by 2. X equals 7.5. Whoops. Alright, so this is going to be an extra credit question. I just wanted to show this to you, and I wanted to bring back that whole FOIL method that you should have went over last year. Okay, there will be one like this on the thing on try your best. Try your best when you try it online. Okay, so that was a Pythagorean theorem. Now we also looked at things like Excuse me. We also looked at SOHCAHTOA, so that was another thing that we looked at. And we also looked at some special triangles. Okay. Now, I'm going to just briefly go over the special triangles. Oops. So, just really quick, looking at some special triangles. Remember the ratios. And you can, hopefully these are still in your notes. And just remember, if this is 45, 45, remember we want L square root 3. The 45, 45 one was a little bit, or I'm sorry, square root of 2. Square root of 2. Okay, that's L square root of 2. And a way to remember it, you know, you have two of these L's, so you're going to have a square root of 2, and these are both 45. So you know, you see a lot of doubling up, so just remember that as a square root of 2. And then the other one was a 60-30. So, and if this was the 60 down here, then the 30 was up top. This is L, 2L, L square root 3. So it looked like that. So anytime that we're looking at triangles and that, if you can remember these ratios, you can go through and solve and find the lengths just using that. So really quick, if I was to go over one, so this is a 45. It's not the best. All right, but if I say, let's say that I give you this. Let's say that I give you that side, and I want you to figure out what those are. Okay, so remember, you know, using the ratios, we would set this equal to 6. So we know L square root of 2 equals 6, like that. And then you would have to solve for your L. So remember, we would divide by the square root of 2. Those cancel. So I'm left with L equals 6 over the square root of 2. But remember, we don't like that square root of 2 in the bottom. We can't divide by a number that goes on indefinitely. So that's why we have to multiply both sides by the square root of 2. Like that. Or I'm sorry, not both sides. You can just multiply it by the square root of 2 over the square root of 2. Because that's what you would end up doing anyways. My apologies. And then when you go right across, 6 times the square root of 2 is 6 square root 2 over, and then the square root of 2 times the square root of 2 is just 2. 6 divided by 2 is 3 square root 2. So that was we would just set, that's the process that we do to find using these ratios. We would just set whatever ratio we are given, like 2L equals whatever this side length would be. And then we would just solve for our L. Okay? I'll go through one or two more. Alright, so I'm going to do a 60-30. So I know it's my 60 and then my 30 is up here, like that. Okay, so when I'm looking at this, I'm gonna go with one of the harder. Well, let's just go with this one. I'll say that that's 16, the hypotenuse. Now, if you go back and look at the ratios, I know that my ratios go like this: L, 2L, and then this is L square root 3. All right. So now what's given to me? 16 is given to me, so I can set that equal to each other. So I know 16 equals 2L. And then I can just divide by 2. So I know that 8 equals L. So if 8 equals L, now I can go and just fill this in. I know that side, I know that side is 8. And I know that this is going to be 8 square root 3. Like that. Oh, I got a phone call. Hold on a moment.